Hi everybody. I've seriously got disaster zone going on here on my desk, so we're going to have to work around a little bit while I'm talking to you. These are some leftover papers from some braille paper I was cutting down, and I just, since they were, perfect little sizes for strips, I decided to add some paints to them just to try and use up, I had these little crafty paint things and I'm trying to get rid of, so I figured I would use them up by just splatting bits onto these papers to make some strips. And when I'm finished messing around with these, I'm going to put them in to some Happy Mail. So I just used a cookie sheet from downstairs that I used for craft stuff and a piece of parchment paper. And these are just magnets to hold the parchment paper flat because it kept doing this weird wavy thing and making these move all over the place, being very irritating. So that's that. And then here's some more of those strips that I'm gonna, I don't know how I managed to bump my camera out of whack, but anyway, here's some more leftover strips that are much thinner that I'm gonna add color to, and then here's some wider ones. And let's see, what else have I got here? Oh, I picked this up from Hobby Lobby, I think it was. It was a little pamphlet here talking about the patinas that Ranger puts out. And I do have a lot of metal embellishments like these. And I kind of like how this patina stuff works. So my last trip to Hobby Lobby, I purchased the 4 packages that they had available, which gave me a nice color assortment. So this is just leftover bits from packaging that I needed to keep to have some instructions on making sure it's ready to use and clean up. And then down here is my little barcodes from the packaging, so I remember which ones I bought. And then I have an idea I'm working on for these. There's a larger one as well. Let's see if I can figure out where I put it. These come in a package of like 20. You get I don't know where it went. Yeah, I'm so cluttery at the moment because I'm trying to go through my stuff and get rid of stuff that I don't think I'm ever going to use or ever get around to using, or have duplicates of on accident. And doing that, you obviously have to create a mess to fix a mess. So I'm currently in the still in a mess section. Alright, well, I don't see that other piece, but the board is 8 by 10-ish. It comes with a larger one of these. It's probably about that big, comes down into a point. And then there's a other size type banner that's more of the square, comes down and then has the points. And then in between those two pieces they had 2 of these per page. During one of my shopping trips to Tuesday Mornings, I ran across the Claudine Helmuth, I think it was, sticky back canvas, and I had purchased some of that. And in my mind, I'd had this chipboard stuff before, and this is what color it is, by the way, in the packaging. I'd had this before. I had seen something someone was making online and decided that I wanted to do a variation of pennants. I want to make individual ones from the big pieces rather than a whole banner system kind of thing. But, an individual hangable piece of work that has shabby chic or whatever. And I got some ideas for some Halloween type stuff and maybe some Christmas stuff too. But I'm going to add the canvas to those as the backing first before adding on the laces and trims and flowers or whatever. So I decided to use some of that sticky back on the smaller ones too, because I actually would like to take these smaller ones and turn them into an actual, small banner for myself to hang in my space. So it might have my name on it. I haven't actually looked to see how many letters will fit on what I have. I have more of these though, so I can do some more. But I went through and just quickly painted, you know, the edge area with some parchment, I believe it was. Parchment color. Master's Touch, or I don't know. One of those cheapy brands, but not craft paint. So parchment first, just to make sure the edges look nice. And then I had gone through with excuse me, used one of these as a template, and then I trimmed it. When I cut them out, I made it a little bit smaller, and then once I had one, I could use that as my template for the rest, because I wanted this little edge piece to actually show when I was finished. And then of course after doing that, I had to line up the holes so that I could trim them properly. So this is a kind of a cream or an ecru color. They had a white one as well, and I have some of those. I think I'm going to sneeze. Yep, excuse me. So, got started on that. I got to figure out how I'm going to do my letterings. I have a bunch of chipboard letters. I might paint the chipboard letters teal or some fun color, and then just attach one to each with a little bit of something, just for the giggles. So there's those. And then, of course, I've acquired more washi tape, because I love washi tape and can't get enough of it. But I'm not going to show you that right now. I probably should do another washi video, because I think I've acquired another 50 or more washi tapes since the last one. And it might be fun to share all of those neat tapes. And now I need some of my morning coffee, which I'm working on. I don't know how well you can see this cup. Kind of hard to show it without spilling your drink. Let's see. There we go. A little bit of a show there. It's kind of done like a Zentangle, and that was what drew me to this cup in the first place. I'll show you a better view later on when I've actually drank it all, maybe. Of course, when you can't do a lot of work because your space is cluttered with your stuff that you're sorting, you sit and watch YouTube videos. And one of the things I've noticed that a lot of people have is this planner called a Hobonichi. And I really want one, but I told myself no, because I'd already bought this. I've added some tabs on the months, so they're easier to find. I've shown this before in a previous video. Oh, and speaking of previous videos, I have some that I've recorded but have not edited. And I have them ready to go from the past, talking about stuff I was going to do and checking in, and then I never uploaded them. So chronologically, they're going to come after this and the upload sessions, but time in history, they're going to be before it. So I might talk about some stuff today that I mentioned previously, that I'm saying I mentioned in a previous video, but I actually haven't shown the video yet. So hopefully that won't confuse too many people. I'll try to make sure that I don't do too horrible of a job of putting those videos up in a terrible order. So I used some of my washi tape on some pages, bats, and some ironwork down here that says trick or treat. I think I have one for Christmas in here as well. Oh, I added some neat snowflakes down here. Oh, I'm like many people, I've gotten into the planner craze where you art up your planner and that kind of stuff. So, oh, that's January. Where's December? Birthday. Here's Christmas. So I got presents down here, and then some gold stripey tape. And then this was a doodle I had done. And then I think February I added some cute, I cut some heart stuff down and run down the side because I'd already decorated with some stickers. I think one of them in here I threw in some, I think it might have been March. Yeah, some cute flower strip. So I know a lot of the ladies who do the planner stuff have gone crazy with their washi tape, and I haven't got to that part yet. I think I would like to add more of the crazy washi tape as I get closer to that actual day, so maybe I can decorate more appropriate for something going on during that time rather than just whatever. And then because I keep seeing the Hobonichis on everyone's stuff, I kept eyeballing this at Barnes & Noble. This feels so nice. It's like leather. It might even be leather. It's probably fake leather. It's really floppy. It feels so nice though. This is a really, really fat grid style journal planner or whatever. And I am not going to use this yet because I have a Midori one like this that I have already drew lines in and dated and stuff to use for my next thing. So I'm going to use those first. Trying to be good about using stuff I already had rather than just buying another planner. Just because someone else showed it and it looks cool doesn't mean you need to have it. You can wait and have it next year. So I'm going to try the Hobonichi next year, unless I decide that something I already have is awesome and I need to repeat that. So I have another video, which I probably haven't shown yet, where I've been keeping all of my planner goodies. So I drag this downstairs and I use it to draw lines and whatever while I'm watching TV with my husband. So here's the lines I've done in that one, and I've begun adding the day of the week and the date to go through. I want to use this as a sort of journal. I don't do a lot of writing, so I like the idea of having, you know, I have a box for each day that I can write things going on in, but then I have a couple of extra boxes where I can do some washi stickers or doodle or add some other journal deco stickers or whatever. So that's the plan for that. And this fits in my cover I made that I think I've already shown. This one is going to be my after surgery planner. So this actually starts the week of my surgery, which, as you can see, is next week. So Tuesday I have an appointment, which I haven't written in yet, and then Saturday or Friday is my actual surgery. And these circles obviously aren't going to apply to this particular week. Well, they will here, but the rest of them it will. This is going to be my pain scale. You know, most of the doctor's offices have a 1 through 10, but I'm just going to do the 5 because that's what my stamp was, and I don't want to have this huge row of circles going across here to worry about. Plus, I'm going to be on medication, and I might not be very competent to try and count across. This is easier thing. I want to write down my pain level, problems I'm associating with, swelling, that kind of stuff. And then I wrote in here, this is 1 week from surgery, 2 weeks, and it goes on for a couple of months, I think. So I've got this labeled out to, well, I did the days of the week for the whole entire planner. I made some boo-boos along the way, which wasn't a big of a deal, but this is all the way out to August of, yeah, August of next year. So I got lots of room. I didn't go all the way to August with the circles. I'm getting there. And I just want to keep track of how I feel after surgery. What I have is, a lot of people refer to it as TMJ. That's actually inaccurate. TMJ is the part of your body. TMD is the problem with that part of your body. TMJ means temporomandibular joint. You cannot have a temporomandibular joint problem. Or, you know, that's not an affliction or a disease or whatever. You have a temporomandibular joint disorder, which is what I have. So the problem with it is I had gone in a few months back and had a surgery where they went in arthroscopically. That means they use 2 needles to go into your joint near your ear there, and they're very small incisions. But one shoots some, and they used a microscope kind of camera type thing. Went in there and looked around. There's only so much they can see while they're in there. Well, while he was in there, he cleaned out some debris, flushed it out, added some special stuff to help lubricate the area after the flushing had been done. And I was hoping this would be my solution. Well, while he was in there, he discovered that my disc that's in there is just trash. And we had already discussed this before surgery, that if the first surgery didn't work to alleviate pain and allow for return of opening of the mouth, then we might have to proceed with what I'm going to have this next surgery, which is the removal of the disc in its entirety. So that's what we're going for. This should be, I think this should be successful, because opening the mouth hurts because it's getting, the joint itself moving in the socket up there in the jaw is getting stuck on the disc that's supposed to create almost a roller skate effect. You're supposed to be able to like just go back and forth in there like a little roller skate would. And it's getting hung up almost as if like a leg of a chair is getting stuck on the carpet, kind of like this. So instead of being able to go around, it's getting stuck on that disc that's stuck because it's all fibrous and trashed and not providing that smooth surface that the bone's supposed to go across. But anyway, so I'm thinking, he says that the pain that you feel is the disc being jammed. So if the disc is gone, then I'm not going to have the pain because there's nothing for it to get jammed on. So that's what we're hoping for. A normal mouth opening, you should be able to put 3 fingers in there in between your teeth comfortably. I'm having problems getting that in there. So you can see how much that's restricted by. So of course you can't brush your teeth very well, or at least you can't brush it without pain. Flossing is almost impossible in some spots, so that's a trick. Swallowing can hurt, coughing hurts, yawning really hurts, kissing my husband sometimes hurts. So it's just, I'm really sick and tired of it, and the medication I've been given for it is not cutting the pain. The only things I've been on that kill the pain entirely is narcotics, which nobody wants to be on narcotics a long period of time. Plus they make you foggy and all kinds of other issues, and I have kids I have to haul around still. And prednisone is the only other thing, and that is a steroid, and so who wants to be on a steroid for the long period of time? I've already gained like 35 pounds on the medication I've been on, which is hilarious because you can't eat anything you normally like to eat, like cookies and crusty things, because, or things that are huge because they can't fit in your mouth. But yet I still gained weight, and it's partially because of the medication. And the other problem is the only things I can eat are soft foods, and a lot of soft foods are pastas and stuff like that, which are weight gaining kind of things. So needless to say, I haven't been happy with my body and all that other good stuff. So anyway, along with the blabbering of myself and the sorting of things, I ran across a video someone did where they had reshown a steampunk book they had created, which I thought was awesome. I bought this. Doesn't this look awesome? I have 2 of these. This is so cool. This is an old encyclopedia. Now this is the Compton's Pictured Encyclopedia, and I think it was published. Isn't this funny? This is so ugly now to me, but look at our futuristic bullet trains we were going to have. Yeah, no. So it's got this nice little coloring around the edge. This is a 1950 edition, so it is obviously way out of whack. Now, one of these I looked in had some information about folk tales. I think this is the one, yeah, folk tales. Here we go, folklore. There are some extremely offensive things in old folklore. Stuff that just, see how easy that is to tear? Those are so brittle. Sorry, it's not in frame. I just did that. That's how easy. Anyway, the folklore is extremely offensive. Let me find the one. This one here. This folklore story about the Briar Rabbit and how it originally came about. If you go back and read about it, you would be like, wow, really? Now, granted, this was before a lot of the rights had changed around for African Americans in America and terminology used in this story was common then, and not necessarily very appropriate at all now. But what you see here is an African American person. I'm not sure if it's a child or a small man, maybe. But the rabbit is being very mean, and they have some wording in here that's not very nice about that. Not the N word, but other wording, and it was like, wow. I was actually quite shocked. But there's a lot of other things in here that are quite hilarious. This is kind of fun. I think I'll leave this one in, or at least keep this page. But what I'm going to do, which I thought would be cool, is I'm going to cut the center portion out right here, or at least part of it. And I am going to use another piece of chipboard from the back somehow, but I want to put a gear set inside that where it's not necessarily flush with the cover, but in it a little bit, and then have some more gears on here. Make this whole cover kind of fun steampunk. I really don't need to do a whole lot to the cover, except for maybe add some bronzing or pewter type stuff to kind of give it a metal look, but the book cover itself is just, I just think it's gorgeous. And if it weren't for the fact that I have to make sure I don't go over my weight allowance with our move, I would go back and buy more of these, but I do have two. So I'm going to go through and remove a few of the pages here and there. I'm going to try and remove some pages that are like this, that have, you know, at least nothing on one side, and do a paper bead chain with them, because this color of the paper is perfect for that, and I want to use it on maybe the Christmas tree. But some of these other pages like this, I can probably use those as collage stuff or whatever. So that's my thoughts on that one. And then I mentioned I had trimmed the Braille paper down, and here's what I was doing. I got this from one of the, I wouldn't say a yard sale, it's kind of a thrift shop, I guess. We don't have thrift shops around here, they're horrible. We've got Goodwill all over the place, but most of the Goodwill shops are meh. Sip of coffee. Very hard to find anything cool in them. So I think I found this at the same place I found those encyclopedias. Well, I had some nice ledger paper in it, which I've taken out, put away into another box with my other ledger paper. And I got to thinking about this little book, because it's, you know, this is traditionally the front, but I think I'm going to make this the front, or maybe I'll leave this as the front, but I'll add some kind of thing here to cover up the word ledger. But it really makes a neat journaling kind of book. And I know Imperfect Impulses with Aaron, he has a book that he took apart, and he takes the pages and he does the work on them, and then he adds them back to the book. I thought I could do something like that with this. So what I ended up doing is cutting down some Braille paper. These are actually this big with about 2 inches on the side. So I've cut them down where they'll fit nicely in this book. And I don't think all these will actually end up fitting in here once I've done some art on them, but if you think about where the holes will need to be, suppose, you know, along with that, and it closing, then they're going to go in there without sticking out. So I just did enough to, you know, fill the book, but maybe not necessarily use them all. And I don't think I'll necessarily need to keep these, but I might, because those first and last pages might become messed up with the opening and closing of the book. So I'm gonna, and the reason I'm using the Braille pages is because it comes with texture already on it. So I'll do some stuff on here and have that fun texture included, and then put it in my little book and have a book full of pages I have done art on that are of a fun size. What else have I got going on? Did a bunch of shopping, which I shouldn't be, but I have been. Trying to organize different things into categories. Like I do have a some of these scrapbook folio things. I've cut this one up, but they have this kind of concept. So I've put Halloween papers and pictures into one, and I have my kitties album stuff in one, and all the stuff that I've accumulated to go with it, like journaling cards and ephemera and embellishments that are kitty cat related that I wanted to add to it. All been going into the pocket. This is I don't remember who I saw that was doing this. I'll have to look. She had taken the pocket and you cut it and you flip the bottom portion reverse so that it goes inside instead of that way, like it should be. And then you crease these parts and you can, I got these little folders here. Heidi Swap, I think is the folders. It might even have been her doing the little video. But she created the folder system here. You hook them in here like this, and you sew through this way. Well, my sewing machine's put away right now. And then I have this little pocket here. You'll sew this shut this way, which creates this nice little pocket that hopefully I can slide this into, or maybe attach somewhere else, but I thought it would be good for a closable pocket like that to be included. But it makes a fun little junk journal, and you can attach things to this cover or leave it blank. And she had added some stickers on here that when you open this up, the stuff is over here and you have a different effect there, and it was just cute. I'll try and find the video and link it, because that's a neat little project. I'm going to make a few of those. And then I bought some fabric paints to make my own Harbor Freight art bag. I also found they had this black one there, smaller version. Got hair all over it. It's got this nice hard bottom to it. Just a little bag. I thought this would be good for maybe pens or something. But I've started to do some color on it. I haven't gotten very far yet. And that's about it. Woo! Try to knock the camera down. So just trying to get through my stuff, trying to make sure I'm not hauling things with me that I don't need. I don't want to get rid of all of my stuff, but I don't see the point of hauling things I'm not going to be using. I obviously haven't used these things in the whole year I've been here, so why keep them? You got to purge somewhere, right? So I've already been selling some of those off. And one thing I've discovered that you can do to drop weight, and I did this before, everything comes in a package. And a lot of times it's really nice to keep it in the package so you know who made it. So when you use the product, you know what to look for again, or maybe you can tell the next person what it is. This has weight to it. And if you get a whole bunch of these stacked together, well, obviously the weight accumulates. This single item may not have weight, but when you have 50 things that are still in their packaging, and you take them all out of packaging, like these, well, that's a lot of weight. This weighs more than the pen. This weighs more than a lot of stuff. Well, I'm going to keep these though. I'm going to use these as swatch holders. But there are like Tim Holtz brads and embellishments and all kinds of stuff. You don't need the packaging, so get rid of it. And I'm putting all those backings that are cardboard into a recycle bin. And all the plastics are going into a different bag to take to the plastic recycling. And then, just going and doing that. And then as I do that, I find things like this. Which are, these are backings off of several different products. So, spottedcanary.com, whatever that one was. American Crafts. I don't know, whatever that was. Colorbox. Well, they had to use their packaging and had patterns in the back. I don't know if they intended for people to use the backing, but I think it's cool. And what I've been doing with these is, like this particular one, I'm going to keep like this. These other ones, I have been taking my circle punch, and I'm trying to grab this box up here. I've got some die-cut butterflies in the way. Holy cow, that one's being very difficult. Alright. So I've been taking them and punching out circles. So these right here actually were from those folders packaging. So all these little circles have some kind of pattern that was part of some packaging. And these will be really cute done as homemade flare buttons or background on some page. You know, they're all glossy. Well, I should say most of them are glossy. A couple of them are kind of not glossy, but you know, a fun way of making your own little embellishments. I've got a whole pot of them here. These little containers are awesome, by the way. So I'm going to chop those up too, except for the ledger, or notebook paper looking one, I should say. And, you know, this is going to go in the trash can, essentially. Alright, I think I've blathered on enough. Just wanted to catch everyone up with what I've been doing. I haven't been able to do videos because my daughter's always in here with me doing her schoolwork, and I don't want to record her teachers talking on her online class over what I'm doing. It's just weird. I don't know. I feel weird sitting in here talking with her in the room with me when I'm talking to a camera. So I know some people understand how that is. So that's what I've been up to, and I hope each of you is having a great day and keeping warm in your areas of the country that are cold. And I will talk to you later. Bye.